So right view really means knowledge, panya. Right view means right knowledge or right understanding or wisdom, panya. And this panya here eradicates the ignorance. When it eradicates ignorance, it eradicates other mental defilements as well. So if you read 76, you will find that. Can you read 76?
Briefly, see in chapter 22, 31 for detail. When a meditator is progressing towards the penetration of the Four Truths, his eye of understanding of Nibbana as his object eliminates the inherent tendency to ignorance, and that is right view.
Right. So now you see, right view takes Nibbana as object. It mentions there. And it is wisdom or understanding. So when we say right view, we mean the understanding. Or in Pali, it is panya. And here, since it arises with magga consciousness, it eradicates all mental defilements. And the ignorance is at the head of these mental defilements. So here, right view means right understanding. That eradicates mental defilements, and that takes Nibbana as object. Now 77.
When he possesses such view, his directing of the mind onto Nibbana, which directing is associated with that right view, abolishes wrong thinking, and that is right thinking.
Yeah, right thinking here means, again, a mental state that arises at the moment of enlightenment. Since it is right thinking, it abolishes wrong thinking. Wrong thinking means thinking to harm others, to kill others, to harm others, and so on. And there is one word that is very important. You can read it again.
When he possesses such view, his direction of the mind onto Nibbana.
Right, direction of the mind on Nibbana. Okay. Now, this factor, right thinking or right thought, as it is translated in English, is actually misleading. Because when it is called right thought, you must be thinking something like that, right? But here, right thought means not thinking. At the moment of enlightenment, there is no thinking. No thinking as we ordinarily think. There is the activity of mind, but it is not thinking about this thing or that thing. So the right thought here means a mental factor that directs the mind, or that takes the mind to the object and put it on the object.
Mental factor that directs.
Directing the mind to the object, right? Actually, not just directing. Directing means you may show someone to go to some place, right? Say you may point your finger and say go to that building, and you may not take him there. But here, directing means not just giving directions, but taking the mind and putting it on the object. So this mental factor is an important factor. If it does not take the mind and put it on the object, how can mind take the object? Suppose I am visiting this city, right? I don't know where to go. Then somebody takes me and put me in a place where I want to go. Without him, I cannot go there, and I will not experience that place. right? So in the same way, this mental factor takes the mind and put it on the object here, nibbana. So when mind is put on the object, then mind can experience that object. So that mental factor that takes the mind and put it on the object is what is called right thought here. Not just thinking. Okay. So if it does not put the mind on the object, mind cannot be on the object, and so mind cannot know the object, right? So it is beneficial to right view. Right view can understand or see nibbana only when the mind is put on the object. So that is why these two are grouped together, and they are called a group of wisdom. The 8 factors will be grouped into 3 later on. In the next hour, I'll explain it to you. So there will be 3 groups. These 8 will be divided into 3 groups. So the first group consists of these first 2, the right view and right thought. And right thought is grouped together with right view as the group of wisdom because it is beneficial to wisdom. That means if it does not take the object and put it on the, if it does not take the consciousness and put it on the object, there can be no understanding, there can be no right view. So these two are grouped together as belonging to the group of wisdom. Okay. So now you got the first 2. What is number 1? Right view, and number 2? Right thinking, right thought. Now number 3 is right speech. And right speech actually means abstention from wrong speech. Abstention from wrong speech. Now when you say, I take the precept of abstention from wrong speech, there is this factor, samma vaca, right speech. So right speech really means abstention from wrong speech. And you know the wrong speech? How many wrong speeches are there? Yeah. One more.
Lying, slandering.
Yes. Harsh speech and idle talk. Yeah. These are called wrong speech. So abstention from wrong speech is called right speech. Then the next one.
Right action.
Right action means abstention from wrong action. There are 3 wrong actions mentioned in the books. And what are these 3? No, you will not find in the book.
Feeling, and sexual misconduct.
Right. So abstention from these 3 things is called, in Pali, samakamanta, right action. And then the third one, right livelihood. Right livelihood is abstention from wrong livelihood. Now there are some traits that are said to be wrong. like selling weapons, selling poisons, selling liquor, and so on. So they are called wrong livelihood. So abstention from wrong livelihood is called right livelihood. And for monks, right livelihood means acquiring requisites by lawful means. That means monks are not to tell fortune, monks are not to give medicine, to act like doctors and so on, to get donations from people. So they must go out for alms, picking up their bowls and go out for alms and so on. So this the third one, right livelihood, means abstention from wrong livelihood. And also there is one thing you need to understand regarding these three. The first one is abstention from wrong speech. The second one is abstention from wrong action. And the third one is abstention from wrong livelihood. Now there is another meaning to them. If you abstain from wrong speech, just abstain from wrong speech, then there is right speech in your mind, this factor. But suppose your livelihood is telling lies. Let us say you tell lies to earn a living. So your way of livelihood is telling lies. And then you abstain from telling lies. Then what will happen? What will arise? The first one or the third one? If you abstain from lying ordinarily, lying that is not your livelihood, then you are having right speech. But if you abstain from lying, which is your livelihood, then you are having right livelihood. So there is this difference. Suppose a fisherman, right? So his livelihood is killing fish. So if he abstains from killing fish, he gets not right action but right livelihood, because it is his livelihood, and he abstains from his livelihood, which is in his case killing. But sometimes a person goes for fishing for fun, and then somebody tells him that it is not good to do, and then he abstains from killing, then he gets right action. So right speech and right action are abstentions from the wrong action and wrong speech. That is not one's livelihood. But if these are his livelihood and he abstains from them, then he gets the right livelihood and not the first two. So that is also important. So although the name is right speech, right action, and right livelihood, the real meaning to understand is abstention. That is why they are grouped as Sila group. These three are grouped as Sila. Then we come to the next group. What is the next? After right livelihood, there is 81. Right effort. Right effort means making effort. Right effort cuts off laziness. Right? You may find that in 81. right 81.
When he is established on the plane of virtue called right speech, right action, right livelihood, his energy, which is conformity and associated with that right being cuts of idleness, that is called right effort.
Yes. So, actually, the making effort is called right effort. So, making effort means here getting rid of laziness, getting rid of idleness, and making effort for the abandoning of akusala already arisen, and also for not doing akusala that has not yet arisen, and making effort to do kusala that you have not practiced before, and also making effort for the development of the kusala that you have done. So there are 4 aspects of right effort. Now, 2 regarding akusala and 2 regarding kusala.
So what was the first 2 again? I'm sorry, what was the first 2 with akusala?
Now, akusala, let us say akusala. You have done some akusala, and then you try to get rid of that akusala that has already arisen in you. So that is one kind of effort. And another effort is to refrain from doing kusala that you have not done before. Let us say all akusala and new akusala, right? To get rid of all akusala, one effort. And not to do new akusala, that is another kind of effort. Similarly with kusala. To do kusala that is that you have not done before, and to do again and again the kusala you have done before. So trying in that way, making effort in that way is called right effort. And after right effort, there is right mindfulness. Now you know right mindfulness very well, don't you? You practice mindfulness before? Very good. Yes. So mindfulness means what? You know what mindfulness is? To be mindful. To be fully aware. To be fully aware of the object is what we call mindfulness. So in order to be mindful, you make notes, right? When you see something, you say seeing, seeing, seeing. And when the abdomen is rising, you say rising, rising. And when it falls, falling, falling, right? So that means you are trying to be mindful. You are trying to be mindful of the rising and falling of the abdomen. You are trying to be mindful of the seeing, hearing, and so on. So to be mindful means to be fully aware of the object, not superficial awareness. It must be a deep awareness. And it is also called not losing the object. When you have good sati, you do not lose the object. If you have no good sati, you lose the object, and that is why you forget. Sometimes we forget many things. When we forget, that thing is not in our mind. We have lost it, right? So sati is opposite of that. When there is sati, you do not lose the object. The object is with you. So sati is one of the 8 factors. And then the last one is called right concentration. So concentration means mind having one object. Mind not going to different objects, but mind being on one object. So that is what we call right concentration here. So now we get the last three. The first one is what?
Making right effort.
Right effort. Second one, right mindfulness. And the third one,
Right concentration.
right concentration. These three are grouped as concentration group. In the beginning, you wrote down the 8 factors.
Yes.
Now you can make marks there. 1 and 2, what?
One
Wisdom.
is wisdom.
Yeah.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Sila. And 6, 7, 8. Concentration group. So in this group, what is prominent is concentration. But concentration cannot arise if there is no mindfulness. Now you must make note of it. Now when you practice with meditation, you need to get concentration. In order to get concentration, you must have mindfulness. If you are not mindful, if you do not practice mindfulness, you cannot get concentration. And in order to be mindful, you have to make effort. If you do not make effort, you cannot be mindful. So in order to be mindful, you say seeing, hearing, rising, falling, and so on. So you have to make effort to be mindful, and only when you are mindful can you get concentration. So this group has concentration as the prominent factor, but the other two are also included in this group. Not that they are concentration, but they help the concentration. So these two help concentration. That means you have to practice effort and mindfulness to get concentration. So these three are grouped as concentration group. So let us go back to the eight factors. There are 8 factors, and the first factor is right view, and second, right thought, and right thinking, and the third, right speech, fourth, right action, fifth, right livelihood, sixth, right effort, seventh, right mindfulness, and eighth, right concentration.